Guys, it's me. I'm back.
What's up, party people?
We're like, Mads, come on.
All right, this show is taking a turn for the. Oh. What's going on, party people? Welcome to another episode of Monster Bass Live. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Rick, and this is my company. And so welcome to the show. We got an action-packed filled hour for you. My guest today is none other than Fred Roumbanis. We're going to talk a lot about swim baits today. Then this guy knows a lot more about them than I do. I'm going to be joined by Alex Rudd, who will be on the show today. You know, the chat will obviously be operated by our world-class customer service team. Bethany Rudd will be there, making Rudd rich again. But first, I don't know if you guys saw the press release, but we had a pretty big announcement today. So if you've been hiding underneath the rock or weren't paying any attention, we dropped the newest version of the Mad Max popper. We've been working on this thing for probably 2 years. Probably 2 years ago, we put this in the box. We solicited feedback from all of our subscribers. You know, at the end of every month, what we like to do is we like to send you a survey. Give me your feedback. Well, 2 years ago, I did a survey, and I didn't tell anyone what the information that I was asking for was going to be used for, and it was all based upon this product. All I asked you to do is tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, and we took that and we used it to drop this product and make it that much better. It's the first time that users like yourself have played a part in in a product feedback loop. We had 5,000 product testers making this thing the product that it is today. So I promise you, tie one on, you're going to love the results you're going to get. And oddly enough, it's in this month's box. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. You know it. We regionalize it. It's unlike everyone else, right? Everybody else just sends you a box of random stuff. No, we handpick the baits that are based upon the places you love to fish. Why? Because we know region matters, season matters, colors matters, and we make sure that our team puts the best baits for you right into your box. All right, we got the golden show, We got the golden tickets. Today's show is sponsored by Optimum Baits. We're going to talk a lot about Optimum Baits today because they're also in this month's box. And it's also sponsored by Bulk beef jerky. American-made beef jerky. They got a million different flavors. It's pretty darn good. This one is sweet and spicy. I'm going to make Jared eat some. Jared doesn't like super spicy stuff, so, we'll see how it goes. It's really good. I love the texture. It's not too hard. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for beef jerky that's really hard, and I got to, crank on it. But this stuff, money in the bank. Rafi, you want to try this stuff?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Do me a favor. If this is your first time watching the show, if you like what you see, smash that subscribe button. We'll keep you up to date with everything that we've got going on here at Monster Bass. And unlike every other show on the planet, we got a hotline. The number's right at the top. We're going to allow you, the viewer, call in, ask myself, any of our guests, anything that you want. No holds barred. So let's not waste any more time. Let's bring on the bearded bad man himself and see what he's up to today. Alex Rudd. Alex, how's it going, bro?
I'm good, Rick. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. What are you eating?
I am eating a cough drop. Yeah.
You don't have the vid, do you?
Nah, man. I got the 48-hour bug. I actually did go get tested and all that because I was around a bunch of little children's that had tested positive. But I ended up having just a 48-hour bug, and it laid me down on the couch for a couple of days. But now I'm good. I'm good. But I got a little cough going on, so I thought instead of coughing your guys' heads off, I'd eat me a cough drop so that we didn't have to do that. So.
Yeah, I usually have a cough too. We think it's gluten related. It's definitely not beef jerky related because this stuff is really good.
Yeah, I'm liking the look of the beef jerky. Now I just got to taste the beef jerky. Like we need to get some in the mail over my way. Like,
Okay.
You know,
Here's what we're gonna
this
do.
beard and
No,
this
go ahead,
beard
brother.
and meat like goes together. You know
Totally.
what I mean? Like, yeah.
I'll be honest. Your beard looks like it's been like you spent some time. Did you just like trim it this weekend? Because it's looking pretty good.
Literally just got back from the barber. Got a fresh haircut. Got the beard nice and shaved. So we're good to go. We're good to go.
It's looking good. It's looking really
Thank
good.
you.
We should have a whole episode sometime about your grooming tips for bros with beards, and I'm sure we can sell some product.
Absolutely, we need to get a beard oil sponsor up in here. That'd be the way to go.
Yeah, I'm excited today. We got Fred Roumbanis on.
I'm excited, man. Fred's a cool dude. He's likes big swim baits, likes throwing a frog. I mean, he likes the kind of stuff I like. So I gotta say, we'll probably have some good, interesting conversation.
I would think so. So I probably shouldn't waste any time because I heard that there's a football game on that you might want to watch.
Yeah. UT's going to be kicking off at 8 against Bowling Green, which we got a brand new coach. We got a brand new quarterback. We practically have a brand new team. And I'm very interested to see how the season shakes out because we have not been doing very good.
Sure.
And it's hard to bleed orange when we suck as bad as we've been sucking. But we'll get there. We'll get back. 1996 was our last national championship. It's been a long, long time ago, but we'll get back there eventually. I hope. Probably not, but eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say we jump right in and we won't waste any time?
Let's let her rip, Tater Chip.
All right. I'm gonna mix it up. Golden ticket time. If you're wondering what I'm talking about. Your box. Every box has an individually numbered golden ticket. So now's the time to pull out your golden tickets. If you don't have one, subscribe to Monster Bass. You'll get the best baits for the places you love to fish and a golden ticket. And today we're going to give away prize packs, which, by the way, before I even announce that, I owe one of your subscribers a prize pack, and it was returned to my house. I don't know if I've screwed up the address or if you screwed up or they screwed up. Could be anything, but I need you to recheck that address so that we can resend it back out.
Got you. We'll get that fixed.
All right. The first golden ticket for a Monster Bass prize pack is C1225B592. All right. Good stuff. One down. Handful to go. All right. Our guest today, he's originally from the West Coast. He's one of the most knowledgeable anglers on the planet. He's won over $1.5 million fishing for bass. Even when I say that, I'm still like, wait a minute.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. I'll say it again. He's won over $1.5 million fishing for bass. What are some of his hobbies? Well, and according to the MLF website, did you know Fred likes fishing?
Really?
It says that. It says that on the MLF website.
I would say that that's something we both have in common. We both like fishing, so that's good. Yeah.
Yep. Not only is he one of the most knowledgeable anglers in the world, he loves throwing big swim baits, and we're gonna talk about swim baits today. Let's give a warm welcome for Fred Roumbanis. How's it going, Fred? Oh. Hello?
He sure looks good. He's looking good. The Phoenix looks good. The Mercury looks good. I mean, the whole package is beautiful.
Look at the pond in the back.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. How froggy that looked. It's looking good. Hopefully, I think he may be able to hear us now. Let's see.
Can you hear us, Fred? Well,
that's all right. We'll get there. It's all right.
Should we? My IT guy would tell me to restart the computer.
Yeah, if you plugged unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Jared, what do you think? What should we do? I don't know. Fred is looking at me, and he looks pissed.
Yes, he does. That or just like he's in deep thought.
There you go. All right, well, folks, I apologize. We've been having we've been having some challenges. But that's okay. That's okay. We got lots we can talk about. And before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to Brian Kroom and his entire family. From the Monster Bass family to yours. We hope you guys all make a speedy recovery. The entire family has COVID, and that's not fun because that's got to be a miserable house to be in right now because as someone that's had COVID, it sucks. So hopefully those guys get better quick.
For sure.
So what do you got going on for the Labor Day weekend?
Man, absolutely nothing. I went fishing today. Caught a bunch of fish. Had a really good day, actually. And like this weekend, I'm going to avoid the lakes at all costs because Labor Day weekend is usually like the last hurrah of every idiot with a boat, and they get out there and do stupid stuff in boats. And so I'm going to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, I hear you. I was talking to someone today, and they pretty much said the same thing. It's going to be like amateur hour, and everybody's going to be 8 beers deep. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, have you seen the video going around social media of the guys who take the boat off the trailer while it's still like halfway up the ramp and then drag the boat and leave the fiberglass like streak all the way down the boat ramp? Yeah, dude, I have to say I've seen some stupid stuff, but there's probably no stupider things that I've seen whether I'm at the Walmart or the boat ramp. It seems like those are the two places the stupid stuff happens.
And it's not like we're talking about a boat that you can buy at Walmart, right? Let's be clear about that.
No.
Those things, they cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, this is like probably a $50,000, $60,000 ski boat, and they went and did probably $10,000 worth of fiberglass damage to it by dragging it down the ramp. I mean, dude, it's wild. I've seen a guy one time hop a float boat off of the trailer and tear the lower unit completely off a brand new motor.
Oh my God.
That was interesting. Yeah. I mean, like, dude, boat ramps are interesting. Boat ramps are very interesting, especially when you got a bunch of people. And it seems like recently, right, with all the virus stuff, like a bunch of people had a bunch of time off, but they were still getting paid to sit at home. And so it's like everybody with a paycheck and a pulse went out and bought a boat.
Yeah.
And nobody knew how to run them. And like everybody just got out there and started doing boating stuff, and that's a dangerous thing, you know.
Yeah.
You got that's a 2,000-pound death machine with no brakes.
Yeah, doing 60 miles an hour on the water.
Yeah, it's just not. I don't know, man. People scare me with boats. They scare me with boats. But hey, that's why I'm not going to the lake this weekend. I'm going to relax and enjoy it and watch some college football and eat some food and
what are
watch
you going to barbecue?
UFC.
You going to smoke something?
Yeah, I need to smoke something. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm sure I have a piece of meat in the freezer that I can thaw out and smoke. I've not smoked nothing in a couple weeks. It's just been so hot. I mean, dude, like I went out in the old beard barn a couple weeks ago and a couple days ago, really, before the whole hurricane, rain brought a cold front through. Went out in the beard barn and my meat thermometer, I turned it on just out of curiosity because I knew it was really hot in there. And my meat thermometer was reading 115, just sitting on the table in the beard barn. And I was like, yeah, it's hot. This sucks. Like, no, thank you. So I've not been smoking a lot of meat just because it's been super, super hot. But we'll get back around to it. It's starting to cool off. It's like high today was like 75. So it was gorgeous outside. Yeah.
I just left New York City yesterday. And, man, I think I got out right in time. I'm at home last night, and all of a sudden CNN comes across, and New York's declared a state of emergency because of flooding. And
yeah,
I gotta tell you,
I was going to ask you about that. Like, I was going to say, like, so did you get the day after tomorrow flooding, or did you just like miss it by hours?
I missed it by hours because it just started raining as we were leaving, and literally, I don't know, 6 hours later, there's a state of emergency. So it must have, I guess when they talk about flash floods, it must have just literally hit and just been like done.
Yeah. It was crazy. I seen.
Okay. Well, folks, if Alex is, now Alex is frozen. All right, so that means you got me. Finally, I get a whole show all to myself. It's about time people get to listen to everything I have to say. God, I've been waiting for this my entire life. All right, well, let's talk about the Mad Max Popper. It's pretty legit. It's already in focus. It's perfect. This bait, I promise you, it's in this month's box. So if you sign up for a regional, actually, you sign up for a box this month, you're going to get this bait. I encourage you to give it a try. It's great for end of season, fall transition. I love this. It comes in 6 different colors, whole bunch of them. Yeah. All back here. Solid. Let's see.
We do have our guest.
Okay, so if you're watching this at home, Alex Rudd's internet just went out, and so I do apologize. Oh, it looks like Fred's back.
I think we're back. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I live out in the sticks.
No worries. While you were gone, we blamed everything on Jared. Anything that goes wrong, we blame it on our show producer. It's just part of the job, and he takes it pretty well. So I appreciate you being back. So we didn't want to spend any time, but we started the show. We told everyone that today's show is brought to you by Optimum Baits, and this month we're very fortunate to have this bait in the box. It's the 4-inch version of the line through. Let's see if everyone can see that at home. Now you designed this bait, right?
Yeah. It's it was a work in progress. I guess you could say 20 years of experience. Growing up out in California, swim baits have always been something that just fascinated me. Mm-hmm. And I got into the tournament scene and started throwing them when other guys didn't, and found success pretty quick. So I'm talking before I ever made the national tour back in the California days.
Sure.
And But I can get into that a little more here in a little bit. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like Alex is back. Welcome, Alex.
What's up, Alex?
I don't know what just happened. We just literally lost internet in the entire house. I don't know what just happened.
I swear the check's in the mail.
It's what happens when you live out in the middle of nowhere like me and Fred do. Internet's an issue.
I'm going to see if I can pull this back over to the boat. I don't know if I can or not, but
all right.
I've tried to get near the Wi-Fi box. I don't want to mess this up. So, can you all see me?
Yeah, looks great.
Right,
looking good.
Yeah.
We'll get back in the boat.
I mean, look at that.
We're
I want to throw something in that pond.
I know, man. I'm telling you, it's just looking way too good.
Right? Oh my goodness.
So, Fred, are you stocking the pond, man? Is there some 10-pounders swimming around in there, or what's going on with that?
Well, we know of one that's close to 7, but
that's good. That's good.
We got a few fish in there. My son probably knows them all by name, and I'm hoping. Let's see, am I in your screen here?
Yeah,
I need to
that's great.
Yeah, you're good, buddy. Looking good.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have him take the swim bait that's gonna be in everybody's boxes and go to that pond back there and see if he can catch us a fish for us while we're live.
Heck yeah!
I love it.
Heck yeah!
So you're growing up on the West Coast, and how does the love for bass fishing? Where does it all begin?
It's crazy because if I told you my upbringing, it just doesn't even make sense. I'm out here in Arkansas right now doing what I'm doing. I grew up in the East Bay of San Francisco. My dad was a cable car conductor, and my mom worked in the city as well. And we had a little reservoir near us, the Lafayette Reservoir, and I'd ride my BMX bike down there or get dropped off first thing in the morning as a kid every single day in summer. And park rangers probably don't know this or not, but they were my daycare. So I spent every breathing moment, but I loved it. I was fascinated with fishing. So, I mean, I just spent time on the water from the bank.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. I never stepped foot on a bass boat till I was 18 years old. Fished from shore since I was 8. So, yeah. And that's awesome. Really kind of what I just watched it on TV. Back then, Bassmasters on TNN. You had likes of Bill Dance, Hank Parker, a lot of these old school guys. And
sure.
Of course, you got the Roland Martins and the Jimmy Houstons and all that. And anytime a fishing show, even Orlando Wilson, believe it or not, I would watch those shows and just, oh man, I got to go try this. And I would get on my BMX bike and ride down the hill and go fishing. And I might get like
That's
one
awesome.
bass a week. I mean, I catch like one bass a week now. This
Sure.
is like self-taught, other than what I see on TV. So I really didn't understand. The first bass I ever caught, I had like 5 split shots on a little Zebco 33 Classic, spread out probably 8 inches apart with like a ball of salmon eggs on the hook, and I was reeling it in and caught a bass. And everyone was like
Huh.
mind blown. Now, as a kid though, you got to think though, as a kid, you don't really seem to get attention from adults very often unless you like crap your pants or something. You know what I mean? So like here I am, I'm on this dock and I catch a bass. Everybody's trout fishing, and I got applauded, and it just I think it was the first thing I ever kind of did that, you know, made me feel good. You know, as a confidence booster. So from there, I really wanted to learn how to catch them.
So,
and it's the only bass I've ever kept and ate, by the way. I wish I didn't do that.
fair enough. So at some point though, you're like, I'm gonna do this for a living.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I fished all the way through high school, and I remember, you know, in junior high, we had like a career development day, and they came in and they wanted you to put your likings and this and that, and it was kind of like a selector of what your career path would be down the road, so you could figure out what schools, you know,
Sure.
what path to go. And I told them I wanted to be, you know, a professional tournament angler.
Oh my God. What did they
like,
say?
Yeah, they're like, I fit the description of a park ranger. And I mean, I was okay with it, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. You know,
Right.
I was outdoors. I loved the outdoors. So, but you know, in high school, I got a job. I was probably one of the only kids in my school that got a job, you know, as soon as I turned 15. And, you know, I worked at a tackle store. And so from there, I got to meet people that were in this bass club. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'd love to do that. And then you know, and really, that didn't even happen until I was 18. Because, like I said, I didn't step foot in a bass boat until I was 18. So it was a couple of years into working at a tackle store before I even saw an opportunity to join a club. And I did that. Did like three tournaments, I think, like that. And I had so much fun. But I really wanted, you know, stuck on the back deck. You know how it is, co-angler. You're stuck on the back deck. But I really wanted to try the front. I wanted to see what would happen there. So when I graduated high school, I did side jobs, construction, worked at a tackle store, and just saved up every penny I had and bought me a little 16-foot skeeter that was really old, that barely floated, didn't know much about bass boats, and started entering tournaments and actually finished 9th place in my first pro-am ever out of about 100 and something boats, just going to spinnerbaits. And so I was
awesome.
like, man, you know, obviously another confidence booster. So I never looked back since then. You know, that was it. I'm going to fish no matter what. And I had a lot of sales jobs in the fishing industry, worked, you know, for rod and reel manufacturers, was a rep, and then worked at distributors, went back to working for Akuma Rods and Reels at the time. And that's when I qualified to the national tour with the FLW through the first division of the Everstarts way back when. So started there.
Wow. That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. What do you think you had what advantage did you have? You know, most of the guys fishing on tour, you know, they grew up in the Southeast, right? So as a West Coast guy, do you feel like you had any kind of advantage, or was there more of a disadvantage?
Dude, I was absolutely clueless when I started. I just knew I loved fishing and I'd catch a bass once in a while. You know, I think I was, you know, because I did cut my teeth out west, and I fished a lot of tournaments out west, you know, before I jumped, even though it was like 24 that actually hit the tour, 25 maybe. But, you know, I got the deep water, clear water. You know, I was catching bass at Lake Shasta in 75 foot of water, having success that deep, and then catching them on a frog shallow on the Delta. And obviously, you know, throwing a swim bait is why we're here today. But I was actually walking the banks with a buddy and showing him how to throw the old original Optimum swim bait. And he got on a boat with a guy at Clear Lake and kind of showed him. That guy won a boat as a pro. And then it kind of evolved, man, I want to start fishing these bigger tournaments throwing swim baits, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, it just, I think coming out this direction, you know, obviously a swim bait was kind of a new thing when I first started fishing tour. Nobody really did that. Nobody really drop shotted back then either, believe it or not. Nobody, we called it is rig. I did that when I first hit the tour, which is basically nail weight and a soft plastic bait. What do they call it? Nico rig now. And it's just all these little tricks that I had up my sleeve that I learned out west. And I felt like I was fishing a little differently. I may not have ever been on the best spots or even understood what the fish were really doing. I just knew I had ways of catching them that was a little different. And it
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to hear you like talk about that, because like drop shotting is something that, being from the Southeast, like I just never learned how to really do it because it's not something that we do. You know what I mean? And then like watching a lot of you guys from the West bring some of that stuff over to the East, it's like, I got big swim baiting from the West Coast. I started picking up, I went from what I thought was big, with like my first 5-inch swim bait to now I'm, hucking around a depths 250 and trying to catch fish that way. But dude, it's fascinating to see, West Coast guys come out East Coast guys come out West, and like this weird melting pot of like techniques and things that start to come together. And it's just really cool. I mean, the West Coast, Rick, you live out there. Fred, you lived out there. It's like its own little world, man. I mean, there's guys out there who are professional anglers who literally just fish the like West Coast tournaments and win boats, like, and sell those boats and pay for more tournament entry fees. And you never hear about them, like on the MLF or the FLW or the BASS, but they're fantastic anglers. It's just, they're just fishing the West Coast stuff. Like, I didn't even know a lot of those tournaments existed until I started meeting guys from the West Coast and talking to them about that kind of stuff. It's amazing. The whole kind of, I don't know, the system around that. It's pretty cool.
So
yeah, I mean, honestly, out west.
No, go ahead, Fred.
Are we losing? Oh, I didn't know if we were losing signal. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, out west, they actually drew back then. They drew a lot of boats. I mean, the average tournament was 80 boats on just a regular weekend team tournament. Even out here, where there's a lot of tournaments, we're drawing like 40. It's not like we're drawing. The problem is we've got tournaments. If you can't make the weekend one, guess what? You can fish the Tuesday night or the Wednesday night or Thursday night or Friday nighter.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Monday nighter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Honestly, how it is. So the Saturday and Sundays are probably family days more than going out fishing. But it's cool. I mean, I love it. We moved out here to Lake Darnell, and I've had some fun times throwing a swim bait because the fish really haven't had that pressure of seeing it. Out west, by the time I left, it was really picking up. And I mean, you couldn't fish a tournament at Shasta, Orville, Clear Lake, or even the Delta for a time period or Folsom Lake without being one on a swim bait. So if you weren't throwing it or you didn't figure it out, you were missing the boat. And I mean, it's still like that today, but there's other ways to catch them too that they're starting to figure out there. But it's funny how swim bait fishing and a lot of like Japanese techniques go to California first because, well, Matt Pano that makes my Optimum swim bait, he imports all the depth swim, 250s, all that stuff, all the depth products, all those high-end Japanese baits. He's the one that imports them. So naturally, when I got in with IMA and Optimum and got the opportunity to work with him, I got to see a lot of this stuff firsthand before a lot of other guys. So I'm very thankful for Matt Pano. I mean, he's the unsung hero in this whole situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of,
so
go ahead, Alex. Nope.
I was gonna say, I mean, like, I mean, speaking of swim baits and fish that don't see swim baits often, like, talk to us about that, because I know for me in my fishing experience, something that people don't do a whole lot of is throw the bigger than average swim bait. You know what I mean? And I've seen some absolutely fascinating things throwing a big swim bait, and I've had some really awesome catches on the big swim bait. So like, tell people about like kind of that whole system of looking at something that's 5, 6, 7 inches long and going, okay, here's how I need to throw this bait to be as proficient with it as I can.
All right. Well, for instance, this dude right here, you guys can see that. Well, I'll drop down a little bit to where you can see it. Anyway, this dude right here, this is my 6-inch swim bait, and it looks big. It looks intimidating. But if you think about it, a Senko, how many of y'all throw a 6-inch Senko and catch 1 pound bass? So if you think about size to size ratio, the bait's no different. It's just got a little more meat to it, but that's what they're eating in real life. So I think if a guy can get past that mindset that a big bait is just too big, they'll catch a lot more fish, and they'll fish with more confidence, and obviously catch more with that confidence. So, I know that's probably the biggest thing that intimidate guys. And then, like you said, these big glide baits, man, I love throwing these big glide. My kid is absolutely hooked on glide baits. All he wants to throw is a big glide bait. and it's cool because nobody out here throws them really. And when you get a bite on a glide bait, it just seems like they hit 10 times harder than when they hit a plastic worm or a jig. And you know when you get that bite, and you're doing all the action with the reel. I mean, it's a fun way to fish. It takes a lot of time on the water, and you'll start getting that confidence and start learning the little nuances and talents of a bait like that. My swim bait, I like to say, is actually really easy. I mean, it's put it on your line, tie on the hook, put the hook back in the belly. Just here, I got one right here I've been leaning on my shoulder. This is the one that's coming in the box for everybody, and this is the 4-inch. And you can see how soft this thing is. I mean, this thing is just, you want a swim bait that's real soft. I mean, so we got the treble hook. Now the treble hook it comes with is perfect. I sponsored by Hayabusa hooks, so naturally I'm gonna put a Hayabusa hook in it. I put a size 2, and I just put one of the points right back in the belly. That's all I do. I got it on straight 15-pound fluorocarbon, and I'm actually throwing my swim bait rod by Dobbins, and I got a 6.5 6-gill Hamar reel, and cast it out and just start reeling it in. It's no different than throwing any other reaction bait, except you really don't need to work this thing. So like a chatterbait, a lot of times you want to kind of work it like you would a glide bait. You want to control it with the handle, speed it, slow it. This is more of just a steady retrieve. I rarely ever do anything with this style swim bait other than cast it out, maybe let it sink a little bit, and just start reeling it in nice and slow. And it does all the action. And once you start catching fish on it, obviously you're going to build more confidence. But we got a little pond back here, so at some point I'm going to have my son come down and try to go catch one to show you guys, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, please.
Do it. So tell them about
we still got some daylight up here.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah. So tell everybody about kind of the benefit of the single treble hook line through. Obviously it's one of those things that I could explain it, but I'd like for you to kind of explain, like, what is the benefit of having a treble hook that separates itself from the bait? Like, why is that beneficial?
Well, for many reasons, the little history, first one we came out with was a rigged harness version. And it was inspired by an old swim bait I used to throw that was discontinued by Bass Pro Shops of all places back in 2006. And we just kind of inspired having this harness head. And I like it, but it takes a certain wind direction, a certain speed. And there was just more talent that you had to pick up to figure out how to catch them on it. The line through, you could throw in any different direction, and it still runs true because we balanced the head. We made it a little bit wider. It just runs better. But the true benefit of a line through versus a rigged version is when a fish grabs it, the bait's going to slide free of the hook, and you're going to fight just the hook. Now, I will tell you, there are times, and I haven't really come up with a good way to do this, when that bait slides free, I've had another bass grab the swim bait. There's no hook on the one. Just get that other fish in, and that fish is hungry. You'll probably get him to bite again if you don't rip it off. But I mean, that happens every once in a while. But no, I mean, it's really a benefit. You're gonna make your bait last longer. You're gonna catch a whole lot more fish. With any swim bait fishing, it's always good to have a little thing of Loctite glue just to put around the nose, just so things start coming apart. You can just glue right back together, and no problem. But you catch a lot more fish on just one bait when it can slide up and down.
Yeah,
get out of the way.
I've noticed. And that's what I was about to say is a lot of the guys, we were kind of talking before we got on the show that that boom boom swim bait is something that a lot of guys around me kept secret for a long time because they were catching a lot of river smallmouth on it. And the deal with like a river smallmouth, especially when you're floating a kayak or if you're like Ott Defoe running up there in your jet boat, you hook a 4-pound smallmouth in that deep of water, the first thing he's going to do is he's coming straight out of the water. And so these dudes were throwing, I mean, they're like freaking rockets, man. You know what I mean? And so these guys were throwing, the big EWG style belly weighted swim baits. And, what would happen is that fish would get leverage on them. And because that bigger swim bait, that big piece of plastic was still attached to that hook, and they would lose a lot of them. And when they started throwing that line through, I had a lot of guys tell me, their catch to land ratio went through the roof because you're getting that bait separated from that hook. And it's really, really hard for that smallmouth, no matter how much he's kicking, how much he's thrashing or whatever it is. And a largemouth, whatever you hook with it, for it to get rid of that bait. And so I think that's when I actually saw the original harness version, I was like, that's awesome. I was like, now if we can see a line through, I was like, that's where it's going to, really be, just killer, because you're going to lose a lot less fish. And so, yeah, that's cool, man. It's cool to kind of hear you say that and then see it applied in real life. You know what I mean? That's cool stuff.
Dude, I mean, you nailed it on the dot right there. That's exactly, I mean, that's the purpose of it right there, Alex. I mean, land more fish, and that's what it's about. I mean,
Yep.
so, yeah, it takes a while to develop a bait and get it to run right and do everything you want it to do. And man, when I started catching them in competition with this bait, I told Maz, it's perfect. This is exactly what I want. You nailed it. I will tell guys it's always good to retie. Even though you're catching the line bait sliding up and down, it's still good to retie after every quality fish. Just retie that hook, cut off 4 inches or something, because when that does slide up a little bit, you're still rubbing your weight on your line a little bit. So you want to make sure that you do retie. But man, I was pretty stoked when we came out with the 4-inch size, because we got a 4-inch, a 5-inch, and a 6-inch. The 4-inch is what everybody's getting in the box, which is the best all around size as far as just anywhere in the country. I got to fish 2 events at Table Rock, and the first one, and this is crazy, the first one I did really good. I think I fished 21st in the Major League Bass Pro Tour, and I caught the majority of my quality fish on this 4-inch swim bait, the exact one you guys are getting, right out of the package. And it was like, dude, I wish I could come back. That right there, that's ghost minnow. One of the things that you can do, I like that color in real clear water. You can take a chartreuse. I always got one of these on the floor, little spike it pen, and we got one right here. So this is ghost. Let's see here. I'm trying to get right in front of the camera. There we go, right there. And I'll just take and put a line, just like that. Can you see it?
Sure.
Just put a line on each side. And that when you get a little stain or a little more wind and the water clouds up a little bit, you get a little chartreuse. It still works great in clear water with a chartreuse. We have another color called Sexy Minnow, which is basically the ghost minnow already comes with a chartreuse. So both those colors, and that's the one that I keep on the side of my truck, just because I've done so much damage with it. Well, the next time, fast forward, we were going to Grand Lake for the next event, and because of high water flooding, they said, hey, we're going to go back to Table Rock. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just now really starting to learn Table Rock with my swim bait. So believe me, of anybody, I was most fired up about it, because I just knew what I could do with it. The first time around, the shad was up high in the water column. You're fishing this thing 4 feet under the surface, slow retrieve, not really letting it sink, but that's where the shad was. There was a big shad spawn going on. It was perfect. Well, the next 2 weeks later, the shad dropped down in the water column a little bit, and I had to let my bait sink a little bit. I started playing around, and guys, if you can find these things, I'm going to show you a little trick. This is called a Zappu Wicked Ball. You guys see that?
Yeah.
2.2 grams of tungsten that you can twist on the treble hook. And I've got a treble hook with one on it right here, so you guys can see it. See that? Twist that little dude on the treble hook, slide your line through, tie that hook on, and now you're going to be able to fish it deeper. You're going to be able to slow roll it down in a deeper water column. Not only that, if you want to burn it up near the surface, you can burn it too. So there's 2 things with it, but this time I put that on there. 2.2, I was getting it down 12 foot of water. I downsized my line from 15 pound to 12 pound, which anytime you can thin your line out, you're going to get down a little bit deeper with anything you throw, whether you're throwing a crankbait or anything like that. But I went down to 12 pound. I actually went down to 10 pound on one rod to get it down, even look like 15 feet where some, in the afternoon when the shad got a little bit deeper. But I just started wearing them out again. And guess what? This time, instead of 21st, I made top 10. And almost at the end of the first period, I'm leading the tournament. So, I mean, it died off a little bit after that. I ended up 8th place, unfortunately. But it was cool because I knew what I had figured out. And then I had the opportunity to go back a couple weeks later and establish it. So that whole year, I don't think there was a single tournament, whether I was in Florida, I wasn't throwing one of my swim baits, whether I was on the weedless version, the harness version, or this line through. Most of them were on the line through. So yeah, I mean, it was just one of those deals. I'm like, this is cool.
Well, we're talking about, for those just tuning in, we're talking about the the line through swim bait from Optimum Baits. It's in this month's Monster Bass box, and we're talking with Fred. He designed the bait, and he's giving you the tips that you need to know how to throw this and catch some fish. So what do you say? What do you say? We've had a caller online for 19 minutes waiting to ask you a question.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't you okay if we take a couple calls?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Let's open the phone lines. Let's take at least this call. Let's see how.
I bet you I know who it is. Is it who I think it is?
I have no idea. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, how are you?
No.
I'm all right. Hey, Fred. Hey, Alex.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, make sure you turn down the volume on
Hey,
your.
I'm good.
Turn down the volume on your computer so we can hear you. All right.
All right, you hear me?
Now,
That's good?
now we can still hear you in the background.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. How about now?
Sounds great. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, yeah, this is G Cole from out of Warner Robins, Georgia. Fred, that swim bait, that's gonna be good for me on Lake Lanier.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's going to be real good over
Hey,
here.
hey, Rick, you're a stand-up guy. You said you were gonna look me out, and you did.
How'd you do?
Oh, I ain't go yet. I go
Sorry.
on the 25th of this month.
All right.
Oh, man. You will. I
25th and
promise you'll
26th.
catch fish on that there. Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna throw it. Believe that, Fred.
Oh,
You
man,
got
that's
that.
awesome. Hey, when you catch one, tag me. Post it and tag me. I'll reshare it.
All right. Oh, and nice boat, by the way, too. I like that boat.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy. You know, Phoenix is the first year with them, and, man, I'm super impressed.
Oh yeah, I don't have one. I'm gonna go down here and try to win mine.
All right. Well, listen.
That's right. Good luck down there. You're going to do it.
Yeah, I hope
got
you.
all the faith.
Yeah, I hope. We hope you have a great ton of success out in the water. Hopefully, the line through swim bait produces for you, and that next time you're calling in, it's because you got a boat.
That's right.
That's right.
Good
And
luck.
I'd like to be on the show when I get that championship.
I'll tell you what. You get that championship, I'll have you on the show. Deal?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna call you.
All right, you got it, man. I appreciate you
And,
calling in. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I got one more question for you, right quick.
Okay.
Hey Rick, with that Big Bass Championship, how do y'all go about for the winner? Because I'm shooting up to the leaderboard real fast.
All you got to do is
How do y'all go about?
just go and just submit your catch, and as long as you've got the biggest one, you're gonna win.
I'm saying, how do y'all do about a month or the year? What? How y'all?
Yeah, it's a year-long tournament, but we've been giving away prizes for the smallest fish. We've been giving away prizes for the best catch of the week. You'll see some posts on our Instagram page this week. Is it this week, Rafi? Yeah, next week, he said.
Oh,
Next week.
okay.
And,
I don't have no Instagram, so
yeah. So.
I just was wondering how y'all go about picking the winner. Do it go randomly or what?
Yeah, it's based upon size, and then I like to pick random winners just to show some love to just who's ever randomly participating. So.
Okay.
All right.
Problem. All right, guys.
All right, buddy. Well,
Y'all
thanks
have
for
a good
calling
night,
in.
and, all right, no problem.
All right, man.
Good luck.
Bye. Man, you waited a long time. Let's I see your son randomly walking back and forth down there. Does it look like he's having some luck?
Yeah, we're putting a new bait on real quick. Apparently I had a little nick in my line.
It's looking awfully froggy down there.
I know. I think he's wanting to throw a frog, but we're gonna
let him.
We want to show everybody we can catch one. You want him to catch one? Well, let's go throw this real quick. I want to see him catch one. Matt. If not, you can go grab a frog, Jack. He's like, all right.
He said, okay. Don't have to ask me twice.
Yeah. All right. So Fred, I get my Monster Bass box this month. It's got this bait in it. tell me again for everyone that's just tuning in, what should I set this bait up on in terms of a rod, reel, line, and just give me the quick rundown in terms of go-to method.
You know what's cool is it's the treble hook bait. So a parabolic bending rod is ideal. Your square bill rod, all the way up to just a cranking rod. You can't go wrong in anything like a 7-foot medium heavy if you don't have that, or even a medium. The longer the rod, obviously, the further the cast. But the bait's gonna do all the action on its own. And I will tell you, I won a boat at Lake Shasta throwing a swim bait on 10-pound line. So you can go as light as 10 pound with it. I wouldn't go any lighter. But I would also not be afraid to go all the way up to 17 on that 4-inch swim bait. So straight fluorocarbon, don't go braid or anything like that, because you know the thinner the diameter of the line, the lighter the line, the deeper you're going to get it to run. So keep that in mind. If I'm using a heavier line, it's mostly to keep it up near the surface. So 15 pounds probably my go-to. 12 to 15 is probably my go-to. Straight fluorocarbon. And then I like a slower retrieve reel, 6.5 to 1. You don't want to go fast with that bait. It's a slow moving. We call it a suspending swim bait, but it's because it stays in that water column true as it's coming in. So if you let it sink, and I'd say it's really, honestly, it's about a foot a second. I mean, on a sink rate. So just slow roll it at, if you want it to get down 5 foot, just let it sink for 5 seconds, slow it in. It's going to stay about 4 foot, whether you let it sink that much or not, but just keep it nice and slow. And, I got that forward facing sonar, so I'm constantly watching the depth of it. And then of course you can add little weight to it. You can stick nail weights in it if you want it to get a little deeper, but I like that little Zappu. If you can add a weight to the treble hook, get some, if you can't find those, you can always get lead wrap, stuff like that, to put around your treble hook. I just feel like it's a little better that way, and it keeps it balanced very well. So yeah, I mean, that's it really. Just cast it out, reel it in, throw it anywhere and everywhere. I mean, honestly, you're not going to throw it right through thick grass. If you want to do that, I'd go get you a weedless one, but which we have. And if you do the weedless one, just a little tip, Hayabusa makes a swim bait belly hook. It's called a 958. You either use 3/8 or 3/16 or 1/4 ounce, and it's a 7/0. But don't let the 7/0 throw you off, because Hayabusa 7/0 is a little bit smaller than it sounds like. So it fits that bait perfect. And then I just change the spring out with like a little owner large, and that makes it so the bait never falls off, never balls up. You get the most hookup ratio possible. Little trick for the weedless, but the one you're getting in the box, line through, it's the easiest one to throw, and you can throw it on the bank. You can throw it just anywhere there's bait. I mean, throw it. You're going to catch fish. Right now, a lot of these lakes, right as the fall comes around, I mean, you're starting to get shad coming up to the surface. I mean, just about everywhere you go, backs of pockets, and I just like to slow roll it right through them shad. Hold on.
Sure.
Yep.
Let's go to the line. We've got someone from Memphis, Tennessee on the line. Let's take their call. Go ahead, Colin.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
How are you?
How's it going, guys? All right. Rick, appreciate what you do. Been a long-time subscriber. Exactly. Was with lucky the other people there until they sucked. And
thank
you. I think I joined you about probably 4 to 6 months after you created Monster Bass. But anyway, my question is for Alex, fellow Tennessean, or Fred. I'm fishing in the Bass Pro Open that's going to be on Old Hickory Lake. And I want to know if either one of them had fished that lake, and if so, any pointers.
Man, I have driven by Old Hickory a bunch of times, but I have never put a boat in there. So I don't have a ton of tips. I mean, I know it's a Highland reservoir. It's probably going to be deep. It's probably going to be clear. And if it fishes anything like any of these East Tennessee Highland reservoirs, I got to feel in the fish are going to be deep, and you're going to have to probably fish slow for them, especially with as unstable as the weather has been. But it all depends, too, on kind of what the weather does over the next few days. I'm already seeing, like I went to the lake today, and I've already seen a massive push of shad up shallow. And so you got a big concentration of fish that are living up shallow, and they're eating shad. And so, honestly, man, I mean, like that line through Swimbait, you know, it's probably going to be killer, especially if you can find some schooling fish, big top waters, you know, something that's going to mimic a shad, and then just dragging a jig, dragging a, you know, drop shot, a shaky head, a Ned rig, that kind of stuff, man. I think that's gonna be the key to it. When is the tournament?
September 11th.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, if you get some pre-fishing days, just go kind of check it out, see what the fish are doing, see how the lake's setting up. I mean, because we're in a transitional period right now. We're gonna have a lot of fish. There are a lot of different places doing a lot of different stuff, and I mean, so I don't think that tournament's going to be one doing any one particular thing. It's probably going to be one doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty much, you know, my thoughts on it. We're going to actually do, me and a buddy of mine, the one that's going with me, we're going to go up there and practice on Thursday and Friday. I normally fish out of Parsons, Tennessee, because that's where I keep my boat. But, you know, I've never fished out that way. Sooner or later, I'm going to get out there where you, Alex, and, you know, some of the other guys on the eastern end of Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. Need to, man. It's a good place to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually I fished there a couple of times, and one of them was the first year I ever left California. It was the first lake I ever fished outside of California. Was Old Hickory for a championship. Well, I say California, I fished there on the West Coast, and was Old Hickory for a championship, and they like a frog. They like a frog and a swim jig there. So
there you
I
go.
keep that in mind, especially when you're going.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I tell you, that would be something I would throw for sure. As far as my swim bait, I'd look for a little gravel, stuff like that going into entries, into some of the creeks, but they really should start piling up to the back of the creeks. You know, it should cool down, I would imagine. I don't know though. I mean, it may not be there yet because it's hot. So frogging's good.
Right.
Like
nice.
Okay. That's awesome.
And a lipless crankbait.
Alex,
Actually,
shout out to your shout out to your wonderful wife back there. She's taking care of all of us, especially at MONSTERBASS. You need to give her.
She's right there doing the wherever. How do I get right there?
Well, listen, man, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you calling in, and especially giving that shout out to our wonderful customer support team. So thank you so much.
Well, I mean, I just signed up for a year subscription, you know, and I had actually paused my subscription for a little while, but you know, I just can't get enough. My wife thinks that I have a real problem, and I said, yeah, I just ran out of storage space. So, I mean, you know.
All
right, you guys. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, let's go to our next one.
Fred, you got me all curious now, man. I'm literally looking at Google Earth and looking at Old Hickory, and like I didn't realize that place had that much grass in it. You got me all like wanting to drive out there now and go check it out.
It's pretty good. What's that? There's a marina up there above the bridge on the left, and it has a lot of cheese in it. I don't know if that's off limits or not for that tournament, but man, you get some frog fish in there for sure.
Yeah, dude. It's looking. I'm a river rat.
Yeah.
I'm a river rat, so I'm like looking at the river and I'm like, oh my God, this all just looks like stuff that I want to go fish.
Yeah, the river. Hey, swimming the jig along them laydowns is dangerous too.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another caller, and I think it's someone that you fished with recently. So go ahead, caller. You're on the line.
Hey, Fred, it's John.
Oh, what's happening, John?
Hey, first off, you want to tell the people about, you know, how our day went on Monday. And then another question for you is, how'd you do today?
I caught bigger fish today. But yeah, no, we caught a bunch of fish. They were schooling. I mean, we hit the perfect storm. I mean, it was a storm coming up. We just hit the outer edges of it, the low pressure, you know, water temperatures right there. They were schooling. They're busting everywhere at break of daylight. Today, it wasn't happening. They stayed down. So I stuck with fishing deeper and caught, I actually broke off one probably 7-8 pounds and caught one about 4 and another one about 3.5. So it wasn't terrible.
Right.
I just had to adjust from what we did.
Yeah. I mean, we had an amazing day out there. I had a blast. We caught a bunch of doubles. I mean, it's
Did they turn on? Did they start busting
it was
later?
absolute. No, not really. We had a pretty horrible day. I actually had to go spend the majority, or at least the afternoon, doing some boat stuff at Horizon. I had engine problems in the afternoon, but
no.
But it
you and I
never turned
fished
on
was
like
amazing.
it did on Monday.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it was amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, Monday was insane. I mean, that was that's just we hit it right. I mean, it's just every now and then things work out, and that was definitely an amazing day. You were catching 2 at a time. You had some cool tricks. I learned some stuff from you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun. That was a good day. I was excited. I had my buddy come up actually from New Orleans, with everything going on down there. So I was like, yeah, we'll go get your mind off everything, your home and situation, and we'll go try to catch some fish. And they didn't turn on. I mean, it was weird. I tried, but like I said, we caught bigger fish. We just didn't catch numbers like you and I caught.
And for everyone at home, this is Mongo, John Carroll. This is Mongo Fishing. So if you haven't, had a chance to check him out on YouTube, go check out his channel, and he's got some great content for you. So.
Thank you, Rick.
You got it, man.
Anyway, Fred, I just wanted to check and see how you did today. I didn't see you, later on in the day.
I got off the water.
Just curious how
I got
today
off
went.
the water probably around 10:30. I didn't stay very long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's that late August, early September fishing right there. Daylight till about 10, and then you're done.
Yeah, we're done. They didn't school the way I wanted them to. I did catch one good one on top water, like a 2.5, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like what we. I'd rather catch honestly than I'd rather catch like we did 20, 25 fish than 2 on top water. Even though one might be bigger, I'd rather catch a lot of fish.
Well, like the conversation you and I had, catching a bunch of little fish is better than catching, a fish.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it.
It's time on the water. It's practice. It's what was that?
Yeah, it comes down to time on the water.
That's right.
Yeah, time on the water is there's no substitute for it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's repetitions, man. Like one of the things that I always love doing is going up north every year and getting on that northern bite where, Fred, you guys just got done with your northern swing. It's like silly how many fish you can catch during the day. And there's just something about that repetition of catching a lot of fish and then having the opportunity to catch a lot of big fish that makes you a lot less, nervous would be the word when you do hook a 5-pounder in a tournament situation or hook a 5-pounder just fishing that you're just like, oh, I've done this now, 150 times. Like, I know how to do this. It'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Man, I'll tell you, the way we have our Bass Pro Tour where it's got to be a 2-pound minimum, you got to catch. You can't stop catching them. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You got to catch them nonstop. And it's almost easier for me to go hunting 5 fish. It really is, because I can relax. I don't have score tracker breathing down my back in those tournaments than trying to, consistently have to catch a bass. And when they do bite and you can catch them, man, I love it. It's just always hit a lull. We always hit a lull. There's guys that can fight through that lull, and those are the ones that in our tour that, are doing exceptional.
Mm-hmm. So I got a question about that, just out of curiosity. Can you tell the boat official or ref or whatever they call them, can you tell them to not give you a score tracker update, or is he mandated to give you a score tracker update?
Yeah, I was going to say, you can tell them all you want, but they're going to give it to you because that's their job. And I think they like doing it.
Just to see the stress build.
Yeah. And I, I have my jersey with a hood on it. So I just throw my hood over and I try. You still hear everything, but I try to just stay focused at task at hand, because it's never good when you. I heard something down there. Did he catch one? I heard a blow up down at the pond. The sun's down there. But anyway,
there you go.
Yeah, you just it's crazy. I mean, really, you can get spun out real easy, and you might be on something good. There's many days I've had good 5, like heck, the last tournament, Champlain, I had 18 pounds, I think, for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Really good
Mm-hmm.
bag,
Wow.
but I didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a very
just,
interesting
it is
format, man. It keeps
Yeah.
me interested, and it's just very, I don't know, it's very different. It's very interesting. I think I don't know what to think about it still. You know, there's a lot of debate about it, but I'm just here to enjoy people
Yeah.
catching fish and enjoy
That's right.
watching people catch fish. You know what I mean? Like, I have an opinion neither way. It's both
Yeah.
ways are fun. So.
Heck, it's fun. I'll tell you, it just reminds me of back to you know, you want to watch this game later. You know, it's like it was like going back to my high school football days where you had halftime and we get this whole 15-minute breaks and you get to like,
Yeah.
okay, nobody's going to score fish during these 15 minutes. What am I going to do to try to get myself back in the game, or how am I going to save these fish, or whatever it is? You have these little game plans, little half times, and you know, I kind of like it. And then you know the score at all times, so you know, if I'm on them good, I like to keep about a 10-pound cushion, and then I kind of back off and I kind of play that. If I can get in that position, it's usually a really good tournament. It hasn't happened very often this year. As a matter of fact, it's only happened. Well, really, it's only happened once this year. Last year it was awesome. I mean, last 2 years, but yeah, it's crazy. It's fun. It's exciting. But I do like both formats. I got to say, I mean, I think guys should try it both ways. I love the fact that like our youth tournament that we do, that my son's in, they actually offer both. You know, you weigh every fish and you release them, but they also let you bring in your best 5. And I mean, it's and there's prizes for both, so it's really cool. Because there's sometimes you're just on numbers of fish. There's sometimes you're on big fish, and you can benefit both ways. It stinks when you catch a big one, and you just, you know. Or here's a better scenario. I was sitting on probably the MLF record bass at Chickamauga, and I was sitting 5th place the moment I found that fish. I caught the male when I filled a 17th, then I caught the male. It was 6'4". And then I was like, okay, and I moved back up to 8th. So I went from 5th. The time it took me to catch the male, I moved to 8th, and then the female's like 12, like it doubles it. I mean, if that was a 6'4", this thing is twice as big. So I'm sitting here fishing for this thing. She's kind of rolling this and that. Well, almost a period goes by, and guess what? I'm slipped down to 25th. So I mean, it's like, man, I could have just kept catching small ones, but here I'm looking at a giant. I ended up giving up on her. Where in a 5 fish limit, okay, my son caught something, but it's not what you guys think. Can you guess what it could possibly be?
Did you catch him a tree pounder or a 6 or a 7? Maybe.
There. This is a new signature bait I'm going to share with you guys.
Oh, there you go. Old bullfrog.
So lifelike.
There's my son Jackson. Here you go, bud.
How's it going, man?
That's awesome.
We had to put up the Swimbait. There was just a lot of grass in there, and we needed the weedless version for that pond. But
yeah.
Anyway, you caught him a nice bullfrog.
Yeah, nice.
There you go, man.
Well, John, thanks for calling in.
I think he's gonna cook them for us.
Nice.
Hey, thanks for having me, and good luck next week, Fred.
Thanks. Take care, brother.
All right, bye.
All right, I think we got time for one more because I want to be respectful of the time. I mean, first of all, Alex wants to watch the football game. Secondly, his wife is getting manhandled by pets. It's like the Serengeti back there. It's the Serengeti.
I mean, look at them
there.
all back there. Yeah,
but we
got Bexley, we got Bobby, we got the cat, and then the turkeys. Of course, they're outside, but they're out there. You know, we got enough animals in this house. It's like the Rudd Zoo around here.
Goodness gracious! All right, we got time for probably one more. Let's go to the phone lines and take Brandon. Or no, Brendan. Sorry, it's Brendan.
Oh, Brendan.
Yep.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, how are you, man?
What's up?
You got a question for Fred?
I'm doing great. Yes, I do. So, hello, Alex, as well. Hello, Fred. Hello, Rick.
Hi.
Hey,
so, Fred, I recently got into big swim baits, and I know you're a swim bait guy, so I have a few questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, I have a couple glide baits, and I do have a gantarelle, which I really don't want to lose, so I'm only going to fish that when I'm on a boat. And I have like this weird Japanese thing I found at like Ollie's Bargain Outlet. It's weird looking. It's like a cross between the lipless crankbait and a swim bait. It looks weird. It's not mega bass. But yeah, so I've got a decent variety, and then I make my own big soft plastic paddle tails, which I like to use in the winter. But where would you throw like the glide baits and the gantarelle? Like what are the conditions you like to throw those in? And is there any specific places you would like to throw them at, like at hard cover or around grass, or like what do you like to throw around those areas?
Well, where are you from, first of all? Because that might help me. Because I live in the Ozarks, so for me, I give you the scenarios around here, or I give you scenarios back west, or are you from what part of the country?
I live in the South. I live in Georgia.
Georgia? Okay. So I'm trying to think. You do have a lot of like transitional banks on a lot of those lakes there, where you got like red clay to rock. You know, those kind of just hard, obvious that you see up on land. For me, out here on the Ozarks and stuff, it's always like if I got a wind blowing on a bluff end, and it's anywhere from early spring to fall. Really, it doesn't matter. I'm going to throw a glide bait along the edge of that, because you've got a hard shade line. It doesn't matter if the water's coming up or down. Fish will always be on bluff walls. And if you've got the wind blowing on it, it's just a high percentage area. And being a tournament guy, that like, I can't just go throw it everywhere, because I'm going to not catch them all the time on a big glide bait. I got to hit those key spots. So that to me, those are like home runs. If I'm running down a deal and I see, like, you've got a lot of these rock veins and stuff in Georgia. I know, because I'm just thinking some of the lakes I fished out there, and even laydowns. I'm gonna tell you, you got a lot of laydowns in Georgia, and right around the edges of them. But don't do it from shore, because you don't want to. No. You definitely don't want to get hung up on that. But yeah, I'll tell you, like, some of the best glide bait fishing for me was, and now you can go a little north, but like the last time we were at Lake Murray, for instance, I won there years ago on a frog. But the last time we were there was another elite tournament, and after 2 days, I led it. But here's the kicker: I found all my fish with the glide bait on boat docks, every one of them. And I came back and I pitched a shaky head and a drop shot on those spots where I saw the big ones, and I caught almost not every one, but I caught most of them. I like, you know, when you mark it on your graph, you're like, okay, I know this one right here. This is probably a 5-pounder, and sitting there working around all the pylons, and all of a sudden I catch a 5-pounder. I'm like, dude, I had to just caught that fish. I mean, I wouldn't have been here, you know. So I ended up leading the tournament after 2 days, doing nothing but targeting the fish I found with a glide bait, but never threw it in the tournament. So that's kind of cool. So use it for a tool as far as locating fish, for sure. But like I said, man, when you get a bite on a glide bait, it's hard. I mean, they hit it hard. they let you know, and you're like,
yeah, they do.
Holy smokes!
It's such a reckless abandon. I think it's like the ultimate predator reaction, right? Like, it's the ultimate reaction bite, because I heard it said once that normally when they see something that big, it's not fake. And so I think, like, when they see it in their little brains, it's such a hard trigger of like, I have to kill this thing so hard that they just eat it that hard.
Right.
But Fred hit it, especially like on the ends of trees, man. I've noticed, like, fishing North Georgia, at least, you know, some of the mountain lakes. I had a guide one time tell me, he was a saltwater guide, and he's told me one of the simplest things, but it was like one of these things that like stuck with me. He said, you want the bass to always, or you want the fish, he was talking about redfish. He said, you want the redfish to always think that they found the bait. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, put it in scenarios where a bass, if it's looking at it, or a predatory fish that's looking at it, they think they found it, and they think that they've got the jump on it. And I was like, wow, that is like so stupid simple that I've never even thought about it that way. And like the ends of laydowns, like Fred was talking about, like, man, it's one of those scenarios that if you bring it at the right angle, and it's almost like giant finesse fishing, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you got to get that bait to just cut in there the right way and do what it needs to do. But man, it's putting it on the ends of those laydowns and stuff like that. It's in a scenario where that fish thinks that it's got the jump on it. And that's some of the biggest fish that I've ever caught on a glide bait. I don't get followers in that scenario very often. It's just they just blast it off the end of those trees. And so, yeah, man, I love a glide bait, dude. Glide bait is like, I got obsessed with it and went down the rabbit hole a few years ago, and it is just so much fun, man. So much fun.
You know, it's funny you say that, Alex, because you nailed it on the dot.
What were you saying, Fred?
Oh, sorry. I said, Alex, you nailed it on the dot. I mean, that's actually, I've never used, find like what you said. I mean, to make them feel like they found it. It's brilliant because that's exactly right. Because the way I look at it is what angle can that fish ambush it best? And will this wind or scenario, clouds, sun, shade, because you may see a lay down, there's a big one in there and be like, dude, it's not right yet. Leave it alone. You don't want to throw it to them. You want to hit them when it's right. And that just comes with time on the water. And if you go run to it and you're like, oh dude, but this, the shade's over here and you're going over whatever the scenario is on a lay down, mostly, the shade's there, but just, you want to make sure you hit the scenario right. And if you hit it wrong, you're not getting them to think they're hitting it. Right.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that was like the explanation. Yeah.
It's funny because I've never really thought of it that way, and I've done it my whole life. But, dude, that is brilliant. You're right.
Yeah, dude, and it was so funny. I was just having the conversation with him about it. We were talking about redfish, and he's a redfish guide.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, dang. Like, yeah, that's just like verbiage I've never used, but that's exactly what we're doing. Is like just making sure that they feel.
That's what we're thinking, but we just don't. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
But here's the cool thing about a glide bait, and I'll tell you, just bass in general, if you're throwing a 6-inch glide bait or 7-inch, you probably should really try a 9-inch because you'll actually get more fish to hit a 9-inch. And I know it sounds crazy, but like the depth's 250 catches more fish for me than some of the smaller ones. The small ones are great, but I mean, if on an average, you're going to get more fish curious to that bigger bait. And then, of course, like you just said, Alex, make them think they found it and it's game over and hold on because when they hit it, I mean, that's it. That's the deal.
That's some good stuff. I'm getting crushed in the chats. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Brendan. You had a question?
And when it comes to line, like, what do you like to use? Like, so far I have on my Swimbait setup, I have 20-pound, what is it, Sunline Super FC Sniper, 100% fluorocarbon. Would that be, like, the line that you'd use, or would you use, like, braid the leader, or what is your take on line?
For me, I'm going to tell you, I go straight fluorocarbon. I don't like doing the braid. I don't like it because if I'm doing braid to fluoro, it's a contact to the bottom technique. Like you want, if you're flipping, you're letting bait go down and you want to hit the bottom, it's a hook set, you're wanting the contact. That's why you want the braid. Fluorocarbon gives you a little more strength, even though it's stiffer than mono or anything like that. It sinks. So you want that, but it has a little bit of elasticity to it. So you get a little stretch. I don't want to rip it out of the fish's mouth. Braid is going to allow, you're going to lose more fish with braid. So just straight fluoro, 20-pound, 22-pound, I keep it around 20 personally. I mean, that's, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Brandon. Well, thanks a lot for calling in. Really appreciate it, man.
Oh, also, I have one more thing. Sorry. There is a new leader in the Big Bass tournament with 24 inches. We have Mr. Alex Everson in the southern region.
Oh boy, he's down there fishing some of them like Oklahoma,
Oklahoma private ponds.
I'm done with that dude. Like Alex is killing me over here. He's like, yeah, we found this one state-run lake that's it's 25 acres and it's nothing but 14-pounders. And I'm like, what? Like, why don't we have that here in Tennessee? Like, I want that. Like, why can't we have that?
Oh my God. That's amazing. Well, listen, I really want to make sure I'm being respectful of time. I'm at 5:15 here on the West Coast. I know it's past dinner for you guys, and I'm pretty confident that we missed kickoff. So
yeah, we did. It's all right.
Oh, God, I'm the worst. I am the worst.
I got a video to edit. We've missed kickoff. Come on, Rick. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I don't know. Let me at least give away something so that, the people won't, kill me on the way to the car later. The next golden ticket is D1402C4840. You know what to do. If that's your golden ticket number, send an email to marketing@monsterbass.com. Take a little picture of yourself and the ticket, and we'll make sure we get you something good in the mail. Fred, I want to thank you for being on the show today. We learned a lot about swim baits. I really enjoyed the stories. Again, if you're tuning in, you missed out in this month's box. Well, actually, you didn't miss out, because in this month's box is the line through swim bait, and you can watch the rewind of this and get all the tips you need on what to do once you get it. Really appreciate you being on the show and for taking the time to be here with us today.
Man, I appreciate Rick, Alex. Guys,
Absolutely.
It was a great time. And John, if you're still watching, thanks for coming out and filming, because he's going to drop a video with us catching a couple on it. So, yeah, cool. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Good talk to you, bud.
All right. Thank you. All right. Wow. I learned a lot. It's funny. I know you're going to, this is after the fact, but as you were sitting there saying that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I make, I don't try and hide the fact I'm not the most experienced angler on the planet. And as you were saying it, I was like, yeah, that's common sense.
Yeah, it is, but it's like the way that he said it. It was like, and then the way kind of Fred like expounded upon it is like,
he came at it from just a different angle.
Yeah, it is. It's like a subconscious thing for me at this point. And I think for a lot of bass anglers it's like hard for us to explain exactly what the thought process is. But when he put it in that simple of a form, and I think the reason that my buddy said it that way is because he's a guide. He deals with people who don't know how to fish or don't fish very often. And I was like, man, that's just some like stone cold facts right there. That's awesome.
So, that was some knowledge. Yeah. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you being on the show today.
Appreciate you.
I love listening to you and tournament anglers talk about things that I don't. The only laydowns I have in my backyard are after I've had a few too many and I lay down in the backyard. So we don't have Chris. Well, anyway. So
I love it.
Yeah. So thank you, and to your better half there in the back. It looks like that. The poodle or labradoodle or whatever isn't looking at customer service tickets anymore, because clearly she's done.
So. Bexley, come here. What are you done? Yeah, she's done for today. So.
All right. Well, listen, get out of here. Go watch the game, and I'll talk with you later.
All right, man. I enjoyed it. I'll see you later.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. God, that was Alex. What a great thing. All right, get your pencils ready. It's time for the last two golden tickets. We're going to be out of here. The last two golden ticket numbers are 02910R10034 and Z8261Z2365. If you got one of those things, make sure you write into us. I want to thank today's sponsors, bulkbeefjerky.com. Check out that website. I've eaten at least 3 ribeyes today. This stuff is amazing. It's all made here in the United States. It's all organic. It's so be kind, be strong, be you. It's really good stuff. And then finally, I want to thank Optimum Baits. They were kind enough to hook us up with the line through Swimbait. It's in this month's box. If you haven't gotten it, do yourself a favor. Hook yourself up with the best baits for the places you love to fish. Only from your good friends here at MonsterBass.com. So if you liked what you saw today, smash that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. I mean, listen, it's your choice. We had a great show. We had a great time. Thanks to Fred Roumbanis. Thanks to Alex Rudd, Jared, and Rafi, and everyone else that makes this show possible. I just sit in a chair and get to talk with you guys. And then, of course, last but not least, you guys. Without you, I don't have the opportunity to sit here. And I'm humbled and grateful that you allow me to come and sit in your living room or wherever you're consuming this content each and every week. As always, thank you. So have a good night, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.